Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Old Men in Chairs. A few months back, I did my first Joni Mitchell reaction to the song Refuge of the Road. And if you've seen that, you'll know that I am absolutely in love with the sound of Jaco Pastorius' fretless bass that he played to four of Joni's songs on her album Hejira, came out in 1976. That's one of my all-time favorite albums. In fact, a number of years ago, I wrote a column at that time in my WordPress blog that rated the top 40 albums in my musical history. And I went back and looked, and sure enough, that album was number 10 on the list. Someone commented the other day, and I agree with this, that Joni Mitchell is 10 times the musician that Bob Dylan is. Now, that doesn't mean that I like her music better, because I think Bob covers a much wider range of subjects with his songs. Joni's songs are very much personal, about her own loves and relationships, of which she had quite a few. And one of them was rather brief, but in 1976, when she joined the Never Ending Tour, or whatever they were calling it back then, the Bob Dylan tour, Sam Shepard was part of that tour, the playwright, and apparently they had a short flirtation, or perhaps it was consummated with a short-term affair. And Joni memorialized that relationship in this song. In fact, the song Coyote pretty clearly about a man with coyote-like trickster ways. And I guess that describes Sam. Pay particular attention to Jaco's bass playing because it's otherworldly.
No regrets, Coyote. We just come from such different sets of circumstance. I'm up all night in the studios and you're up early on your ranch. You'll be brushing out a broodmare's tail while the sun is ascending, and I'll just be getting home with my material. There's no comprehending just how close to the bone and the skin and the eyes and the lips it can get, and still feel so alone, still feel related, like stations in some relay. You're not a...
By the way, that's Pat Metheny there on lead guitar next to Joni. And for my money, if they had just panned the camera over and just focused on Jaco, I would be in heaven, because you've already heard he starts out with those really high notes on the bass, and then he's strumming chords, just a miracle worker. This was actually a live performance in 1979, which was made into an album called Shadows and Light. Someone has put together this video taking concert footage and also adding footage of a coyote and other footage referencing parts of the song.
Like stations in some relay. You're not a hit and run driver, no, no, racing away. You just picked up a hitcher, a prisoner of the white lines on the freeway. Burning down in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night. We rode right past that tragedy till we pulled into some roadhouse lights where a local band was playing. Locals are kicking and shaking on the floor. The next thing I know, that coyote's at my door. He pins me in a corner, he won't take no. He drags me out on the dance floor, and we're dancing close and slow. He's got a woman at home, he's got another woman down the hall. He seems to want me anyway. Why'd you have to get so drunk and leave me on that way? You just picked up a hitcher, a prisoner of the white lines on the freeway.
Okay, so that's the whole band, really. You've got Joni on rhythm guitar, Pat on lead guitar, Jaco on bass, and then the other fellow playing the congas. And just to talk about the lyrics a little bit, the coyote's at her door. He won't take no. He gets her out on the dance floor and they're dancing close and slow. He's got a woman down the hall and another woman at home, but he seems to want me anyway. That's a certain type of man for you. A young man, perhaps, or a man feeling young. He's got a woman at home, but doesn't seem to stop him. So Joni looks like may have given in to that charm offensive, but she says no regrets. She takes responsibility that she had her fun too, and she doesn't regret a minute of it.
I looked the coyote right in the face on the road to Belgium to my old hometown. He went running through the whisker wheat, chasing some prize down. A hawk was playing with him. Coyote, he's jumping straight up and making passes. He got eyes like yours under your dark glasses, privately probing the public rooms, peeking through keyholes in numbered doors, where the players lick their wounds and take their temporary lovers, their pills and powders to get them through this passion play. Oh, no regrets, Coyote. I just get off up a ways. You just picked up a hitch, a prisoner of the white lines on the freeway.
Same eyes just like yours under your dark glasses, the coyote did. She was only with that Dylan tour for about a month, and she kind of chronicled what life on the road might be like, taking refuge in their hotel rooms and taking temporary lovers and drugs to get them through the night. Joni, I guess, was almost revolutionary in being a woman who stood on her own 2 feet, fulfilled a feminist idea, perhaps, to use men the same way men used women. Not sure that's a great idea as a role model. I think a lot of women have found that out over the years, maybe even Joni.
Coyote's in the coffee shop. He's staring a hole in his scrambled eggs. He picks up my scent on his fingers while he's watching the waitress's legs. He's too far from the Bay of Fundy, from Appaloosas and Eagles and Tides, the air-conditioned cubicles and the carbon ribbon rides. They're spelling that out so clear. Either he's gonna have to stand and fight or take off out of here. I try to run away myself, to run away and wrestle with my great big ego. And with this flame he left burning in this Eskimo, in this hitcher, in this prisoner of the fine white lines, of the white lines on the freeway.
See how Jaco was playing like a lead guitar way up high on the fret there at the very end? I just don't know any other bass player that can produce that type of magic. And so that's Coyote, the lead song off the Hejira album. I absolutely love that album. It's when Joni really went jazz, which she continued in a number of albums after that. But she had started off more as just a folk singer with a guitar, and then she started picking up a rock and roll backing band. And then she went into jazzy sound when she hooked up with Jaco. A really great song, a really great bass line, mesmerizing music. But it's all about Joni's being a prisoner of the white lines on the highway. And I don't think that means cocaine, although it may have been involved in that time. But I think it's more about being on the road and traveling, always to the next town, to the next one-night gig, and being a prisoner to that lifestyle. It's a tough lifestyle, even more so probably for a woman. Joni has a tremendous voice, tremendous writer, one of the great talents